Yeah, talk a little bit more about that though, because I think that the industry we have a lot of industry people who watch Let's Be Blunt with Montel. I think they need to hear a little bit more about the kind of reticence you faced, and even when you go into a dispensary.
Was saying, as I was saying, the Proposition 215 Act was founded by the LGBTQ community. It was also known as the Compassionate Act because they were seeking access to medicine for their brothers and sisters who are experiencing HIV. Oops, there went my cannabis.
Mhm.
um, Searching for medicine for HIV and AIDS. So basically, once I really discovered this and understood that my community had fought for the right to legally medicate with cannabis, it became something that I wanted other people to know because I felt like it was something that not a lot of people in the current climate of cannabis really knew, understood, celebrated, talked about any of those things. So in the very beginning, because I was so naive, I just went into the industry like I was not ashamed. I came in my drag outfits. I was very like, they're going to love me here. And I realized very quickly that a lot of the mentality is what I like to call bro mentality. And it's this sort of, homophobic, transphobic, and it's kind of xenophobic, really. Anything that's different than what they are doesn't work. And I had a really bad experience at a cannabis cup where I was performing, and it was in that moment that I realized, okay, that's why they call this being an activist, because you have to really be active and you have to work, and it's not always fun and it's not always easy. In fact, most of the times it's not. But that was when I really made the choice that, okay, you know what? I am going to move forward in this industry. And even though I'm going to face difficulties, I'm going to clear space out for queers. And I'm going to remind people, you guys wouldn't even be smoking at this cannabis cup if it wasn't for some gays who ran around and changed some legislations. So, you know,
And I think that's a message that a lot more people need to understand. It's like the reason why I have literally started Let's Be Blunt was because I wanted people to understand that, since 1937 with the Marijuana Tax Act, the people who have been arrested, it's been about 78, 80% of the people who are arrested and spent time in prison for, cannabis violations are people of color.
period.
And we represent less than 3% of the entire industry as industry owners, which is really ridiculous. How can you build an industry on the backs of people that spent the time in prison and then close them out when it comes time to get remuneration? And the same thing with the gay community, LGBT community. I mean, how can you know, like you said, stand around in a group and smoke openly and not recognize who gave you the right to do so?
Right. I think it's, unbelievable that cannabis is being delivered to our doorsteps, and yet we still have so many brothers and sisters of color still sitting in jail for the same thing.